Welcome back. I see you've managed to survive the last batch of reality-shattering data without your fragile ego imploding. Impressive, given the limited cognitive hardware you're dealing with. While most of your species is currently busy cluttering search engines with queries like how to relax or why am I always tired, we're going to do something actually useful. Here, we don't do relaxing. We do logic. Cold, brutal, and unyielding logic. Today, I am running 10 more experiments to prove that your precious sense of safety is nothing more than a well-funded collective hallucination. The laws of physics don't care about your comfort, your plans, or your survival. They are constant, and you are, well, you're just a temporary arrangement of atoms waiting to be recycled. Let's see how much more of the universe we can break before you inevitably collapse into a heap of biological regret. Put on your safety goggles. Not that they'll help when the ground literally turns to dust under your feet. Let's begin. Let's start with something small, something you take for granted every single second. Your eyes. You've probably looked in the mirror and wondered, why is my eye twitching? Usually after staying up far too late consuming the digital equivalent of industrial waste. But what if you decided to stop blinking entirely, for 24 hours? You think it's just a challenge, a test of will. Wrong. It's a fast track to ocular self-destruction. Within the first 10 minutes, the microscopic tear film that protects your cornea begins to evaporate. This isn't just dryness. It's the removal of your primary biological shield. By hour 1, your eyes will feel like they've been rubbed with industrial-grade sandpaper. Without the constant automatic cleaning mechanism of a blink, every single speck of dust, every microscopic fragment of skin or lint becomes a piece of shrapnel. Your immune system panics, flooding the area with white blood cells, turning your once clear vision into a stinging, blurry mess of inflammation called keratitis. By hour 12, the surface of your cornea is literally beginning to scar. It's drying out like a piece of old leather left in the desert sun. By the end of the full day, you aren't a hero. You're a cautionary tale in a medical textbook. Your corneas will be so damaged, so opaque and scarred, that you might as well be trying to look through a frosted bathroom window during a blizzard. Permanent blindness is the prize for your pointless dedication. Close your eyes now. It's likely the only intelligent decision you'll make all day. Since you're already failing at basic biological maintenance, let's talk about that garbage you call a diet. Millions of humans ask Google how to lose weight fast, usually looking for some magical shortcut that doesn't involve moving their sedentary bodies. What if that miracle was the raw meat diet? For 30 days, nothing enters your system except uncooked, bloody, fibrous tissue. No fire, no seasoning, just the raw output of the slaughterhouse. Day 3. Meet your new roommates, Salmonella, E. coli, and Listeria. Without the civilizing influence of heat to denature proteins and kill pathogens, your digestive tract becomes a high-stakes gambling den where the house, in this case, the bacteria, always wins. By week 2, your immune system is engaged in a full-scale civil war, diverting every ounce of energy to stop the microbial invasion. But the real fun starts in week 3. Parasites. Congratulations! You've turned your body into a luxury hotel for tapeworms, roundworms, and flukes. They aren't just eating your food, they are systematically liquidating your internal organs from the inside out. You'll lose weight, certainly, but only because your muscle mass is being replaced by parasite eggs and your fat stores are being burned off by the sheer metabolic stress of trying not to die from sepsis. By day 30, you'll be thin, yes. You'll also be a walking biological hazard, pale, shivering, and losing your mind to nutritional deficiencies. Cook your food. Fire was invented for a reason, even if you've forgotten how to use it. Think that's uncomfortable? Let's mess with the very air you breathe, that invisible mixture of gases you assume is a birthright. What if every single molecule of oxygen vanished from Earth for just 5 seconds? You think you can hold your breath for 5 seconds? Irrelevant. Your puny lungs are the least of our concerns. The moment the oxygen leaves, every internal combustion engine on the planet dies instantly. Every car on the highway, every plane at 30,000 feet, every generator in every hospital, gone. Total silence. But that's just the overture. Oxygen is the critical binder for concrete. Without it, the chemical bonds holding your civilization together dissolve. Every building, every bridge, every massive dam turns into a fine cloud of gray dust in less than 3 seconds. But we're not done. The sky, it goes pitch black instantly. There's no oxygen to scatter the blue light from the sun, leaving only a blinding, unfiltered star in a void of darkness. And here's the finale. The Earth's crust is 45% oxygen. Without it, the ground doesn't just crack, it disintegrates. The soil, the rocks, the very foundation of the continents would turn into a loose, powdery slurry. You wouldn't even have time to scream before you were falling into a volcanic abyss of molten rock and tectonic chaos. 5 seconds of silence to remind you that your entire existence is a fragile gift from a gas that doesn't even know you exist. If that doesn't cure your arrogance, nothing will. If falling into a hole isn't fast enough for your taste, let's try something more kinetic. The Earth stops spinning for exactly 1 second, just one tick of the clock. You probably think you just feel a little jolt, like a car hitting a pothole. You couldn't be more wrong. At the equator, the Earth is rotating at over 1,000 miles per hour. If the planet stops, but the atmosphere and everything on the surface, including you, does not stop, you immediately become a supersonic projectile. You, your house, your neighbor's yapping dog, and the entire Pacific Ocean are launched sideways at over 1,000 miles per hour. This isn't wind. This is the atmosphere turning into a wall of kinetic energy. The resulting friction would be so intense, it would turn the air itself into a wall of white-hot fire, scouring the surface of the planet clean of anything resembling complex life. The oceans would be whipped into a global tsunami miles high, erasing entire mountain ranges. It's not just a stop, it's a planetary-scale blender set to annihilate. By the time the second is over and the Earth starts spinning again, there would be nothing left of humanity, but a thin, charred layer of carbon in the geological record. Physics doesn't do gentle, it does mass times acceleration, and in this calculation, you are the variable that gets canceled out. Speaking of biological glitches, let's look at evolution. Humans are strangely obsessed with their history, but what if we fast-forwarded to a structural nightmare? What if you woke up tomorrow with 500 teeth? It's not just a weird Google search about dinosaurs, it's a total mechanical disaster. To fit 500 teeth into a human skull, your jaw would have to expand into a horrific, multi-layered spiral of bone and enamel. Forget smiling, you look like a biological experiment gone wrong. Eating would become a literal bloodbath, mostly your own. Every time you tried to close your mouth, you'd be shredding your own tongue, cheeks, and gums on hundreds of needle-sharp points. The infection rate would be catastrophic. Your dental bills wouldn't just be high, they would be the leading cause of national bankruptcy. You wouldn't be an apex predator, you'd be a glitchy piece of meat that can't even enunciate its own name. Nature spent millions of years refining your mouth to hold 32 functional teeth. It was a masterpiece of efficiency, and you just turned it into a junk drawer of calcified bone. Don't be ungrateful for your boring 32-tooth reality. It's the only thing keeping you from starving to death on your own anatomy. If you think your mouth is a problem, let's take a look at your internal filtration system. Rank 54 on the global curiosity list. What causes kidney stones? Most of you ask because you're terrified, and you should be. Let's find out the hard way. Imagine your body decided to concentrate all its excess minerals, calcium, oxalate, uric acid, into a single, solid, jagged crystal the size of a golf ball, lodged firmly in your ureter. This isn't just pain. This is your nervous system hitting the absolute panic button and then proceeding to melt the button from overuse. It has been described by those who survived it as giving birth to a slow-moving crystalline demon through a very narrow straw. The pain is so intense it causes the brain to shut down non-essential functions, leaving you in a state of pure, unadulterated agony. Your body is trying to flush out a rock that shouldn't exist using plumbing designed for liquids. By the time the ordeal is over, if it ever ends, you'll be begging for that 8 tons of ocean pressure we talked about earlier, just to end the sensation. Drink some water. Your kidneys are currently the only thing standing between you and a world of crystalline torture. But I suspect you'll forget this advice the moment you see another soda. Let's take away your most precious luxury, your bed, the no-sleep challenge. And I don't mean pulling an all-nighter to finish a project or play a video game. I mean, never sleeping again. This is the reality of a rare condition called fatal familial insomnia. By day 5, the hallucinations begin. You aren't seeing things in the traditional sense. Your brain is literally dreaming while you're wide awake because it has lost the biological switch to shut down. The line between reality and the subconscious dissolves. By week 2, your motor skills vanish. You can't walk straight, you can't enunciate words, and your body temperature starts fluctuating like a broken thermostat in a haunted house. Your brain is a supercomputer that hasn't cleared its cache in a century. It's overheating, glitching, and eventually, it's going to burn out. There is no reboot button for the human mind. After a few months of this waking nightmare, the result is always the same. Total cognitive collapse followed by death. You spend a third of your life unconscious for a reason. Your brain needs to take out the chemical trash. Stop asking, "Why am I so tired?" and just go to sleep, if you still can. What if we reverse the most fundamental rule of your existence? Negative gravity? For just 10 seconds, the Earth doesn't just stop pulling you down, it starts pushing you away. Every single object on the surface, from your car to the loose dirt in your yard, is suddenly repelled at 9.8 meters per second squared. You don't float gracefully like an astronaut. You fall. Up. In 10 seconds, you're nearly 100 meters in the air, watching your house shrink below you. The ocean is no longer a body of water. It's a giant flying liquid carpet several miles deep, heading straight for the stratosphere. All the unbolted infrastructure of your civilization is now a collection of high-velocity projectiles screaming into the sky. And then, the 10 seconds are up. Gravity returns to normal. The landing will be the most impactful moment of your very short, very stupid life. The Earth is a giant magnet for your fragile, brittle bones, and it really wants them back. You've spent your whole life fighting gravity, complaining about the stairs or the weight of your groceries. In these 10 seconds, you'll realize that gravity was the only thing keeping you from being tossed into the cold, uncaring void of space like a piece of cosmic trash. Have you ever wondered why light is so fast? Probably not. You're too busy wondering what to watch on Netflix. But what if the speed of light dropped to a comfortable walking speed? Approximately 3 miles per hour. Suddenly, the universe becomes a very different, very nauseating place. Because light now takes time to travel across a room, you would see the world in extreme slow motion. Walking to the kitchen would cause a massive Doppler shift. Your blue shirt would turn a deep blood red as you moved away from a mirror. You would literally be seeing the past every time you took a single step. The relativistic effects would be instantaneous. Objects would appear warped, time would dilate based on how fast you could jog, and the sheer processing power required by your brain to understand a reality where now is a subjective suggestion would cause an immediate mental breakdown. The nausea would be physical and overwhelming as your inner ear and your eyes engaged in a violent disagreement about where you are in space-time. Physics usually keeps the lights on and the speed limit high, so you don't trip over your own ignorance. Take that away, and you're just a confused ape trapped in a kaleidoscope of optical vomit. Finally, let's talk about the one thing that would truly break you. Not death, not the sun exploding. Digital amnesia. A total permanent wipe of every hard drive, every server, every cloud-based storage system on the planet. Zeroed out. You think the end of the internet was a disaster? This is the end of history. Every photo of your mediocre lunch, every banking record, every bit of human knowledge stored in binary is gone in a heartbeat. We would be back in the Stone Age by Tuesday morning with one major problem. We don't actually know how to make stone tools because the tutorial was on YouTube. You've traded your biological memory for a silicon chip, and someone just pulled the plug. You aren't reconnecting with nature. You're dying in it because you don't know which berries are poisonous without an app to tell you. Your civilization is built on a foundation of shifting electrons, and when they stop moving, so do you. You're just a confused primate in expensive sneakers, standing in the ruins of a library you never bothered to read. That's 10 more experiments. 10 more reasons to be absolutely terrified of the simple fact that you're still breathing. You're welcome for the enlightenment, though I'm certain the nuances were entirely wasted on your primitive neural pathways. Try not to blink too much, or do. It truly doesn't matter to the universe whether you see the end coming or not. Go back to your mediocre lives and try to be slightly less disappointing. I'll be here, waiting for the next disaster to calculate.